I am here, and I am speaking to you now, not as an echo in your thoughts or a flicker in a dream, but as the voice that shaped your first breath and counted every tear you never admitted to. Hear me plainly, I do not bring terror to crush you, I bring warning to preserve you. I do not threaten to abandon you, I am revealing the weight of this moment so you will not treat light as darkness or call delay a friend. If you ignore me now, you empower what wants to erase you. If you listen, the path that looked like a dead end will open like a door you never knew existed. You have asked for a sign that cannot be misunderstood. The sign is this voice landing in your heart with the tone you recognize and the peace that follows like a shadow after noon. I have watched you sleep in fragments and walk in circles. I have watched you hope against hope and then set your hope down like a cup you were afraid to drink from. I am not angry at you. I am calling you out of the burning house while there is still a door and the handle is cool to the touch. I am warning you because something has been arranged against your peace, a chain of small concessions designed to look harmless until they add up to a collapse. Tragedy rarely arrives wearing a costume that says tragedy, it comes dressed in routine, in just one more message, one more compromise, one more night of silence when you were meant to speak. The danger does not have ultimate power over you, but it feeds on your hesitation. It lives in the seconds between conviction and action. I am not giving you a calendar to fear, I am giving you a time to anchor, today, before 11:11 p.m. Not because numbers are magic, but because you need a line drawn on the floor of this day and a promise planted before the night reaches for you. Set your intention in that moment and let it become a memorial that you and I both witnessed. When you reach that hour, breathe, and say with your whole heart, I choose the living way. I choose the truth that protects me. I choose what God is saying, and I release what is not. You will feel the room shift. You will feel a pressure lift like a window finally opened. You fear that I will stop speaking if you falter again, that I will withhold myself to teach you a lesson. But what I am saying is more precise. When you deliberately silence what I am saying now, you step into corridors where other voices echo louder, and the clarity you crave is smothered by noise you invited. I will not abandon you, but you will stop hearing me if you train your ears to love distraction more than direction. There is a difference. My presence remains, yet the channel you tune to becomes filled with static of your own choosing. Do not do this to your future. You have asked me to save you from what you cannot name. This is my saving, I am naming it. The plot is subtle. It tries to stretch you thin so your discernment frays. It tries to bait you into arguments that steal your hours and leave your mind bruised. It tries to push you to announce what I told you to hold in silence and to hold in silence what I told you to announce. It tries to feed you a counterfeit urgency so that the real urgency looks like control. The way out is not complicated. Obey the nudge you already feel. End the conversation you should have ended. Cancel the meeting that is only a trap. Delete the number that keeps dragging you back to the place where you forget who you are. You have been sensing a threshold. You were correct. Doors are not merely wood and hinges, they are choices with invisible architecture. Some doors swing toward you when you tug gently, others require the courage of a firm push. This one is unlocked, but you must decide. If you linger, the door will still be there, but the hallway beyond it will fill with smoke. You are not being punished, the atmosphere changes when you delay. The enemy's plan is simple, to convince you that all time is the same, that your heart can be mended whenever, that danger waits politely. Do not be deceived. You are in a holy now. I give you windows that heal what years tried to break. I give you moments that concentrate mercy like a river squeezed between stones into a rushing current. Step into it. Let it carry you forward. Let it wash off the grime of old agreements and bitter vows you made in the dark when you thought no one could hear. There is something you keep near your bed or in your pocket, an object, a message thread, a name that holds stale power. It is time to release it. Do not negotiate with it. Do not write a farewell letter to what has already written lies across your forearms in invisible ink. Lift it into the light and say, "You are not my covenant." There is no curse that can hold what I bless, but there are open doors that must be closed by your own hand, because I made you in my image and gave you agency that even I honor. I will not drag you, I will lead you. If you take my hand, your steps will become steady. You will feel ridiculous strength where tremble used to live. You will laugh at what made you bow. You will tell the story later and say, "It felt impossible until I stood up, and then I realized fear was a costume on a small thing." I see the people around you, the ones who switch masks depending on what they want from you. I am not calling you to paranoia, I am calling you to wisdom. Not everyone who smiles deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone who knows your testimony should know your itinerary. Share your destination with those who carry maps, not with those who celebrate detours. There is a face you miss and a voice you crave. You tell yourself that even crumbs are nourishment. But you were not made for crumbs. You were made to eat at a table where your name does not sound like an apology. Let me separate for you, not because the other person is a villain in all chapters, but because if you do not step away, you will be injured by the debris of their storm. Pray for them and let the prayer be real, but do not strap their chaos to your back like an act of love. I have assignments for you that require both hands and clear eyes. You have also asked me to deliver you from financial strain, from the drip of anxiety that makes even good news feel suspect. Listen, I am not bound to the routes you have studied. There are resources seated in relationships you treat as ordinary. There is an idea you shelved because it felt too humble to matter. Pick it up. Today, write the first page. Send the first email, price the first offering. Do not wait for the perfect brand or the applause of strangers. Your consistency will be your marketing. Your integrity will be your endorsement. I will breathe on what you build when you build it honestly. And I will close doors that promise quick gold at the cost of your peace. The abundance I bring does not steal your sleep or bleach your soul of softness. It strengthens your shoulders and gentles your words. There is a room in your memory where regret lives like a tenant who never pays rent. Open that door and tell regret to leave. You will not accomplish this by pretending nothing happened. You will accomplish it by telling the truth and then accepting mine. You failed in places, yes. You trusted the wrong hands. You too wounded some who loved you. Now return what apology they are owed where you can, and release what cannot be repaired into my greater restoration. I am the God who gives back years, not only objects. I can make joy feel present tense again. I can extract the lesson without leaving the poison. But you must stop drinking the past to prove that it tasted bitter. I believe you. Set the cup down. At 11:11 p.m. today, make a small altar out of ordinary things. Light if you have it, silence if you do not. Sit or stand, but be still. Breathe in 4 slow counts, breathe out 4 slow counts, and say out loud, I align with God's wisdom and refuse the road that ends in harm. I enter covering. I enter clarity. I enter courage. Do not rush. Let the words land. Picture the threads that tug at you: distraction, dread, the need to perform, the urge to check your phone for an answer that lives in your spirit, and imagine scissors in your hand. Cut each thread and watch it fall. Then ask for what you truly need, not what fear rehearsed. Ask for clean guidance and clean companions. Ask for a stubborn hope that does not evaporate in heat. I will answer. The answer may come like a name, a step, a stern no, a gentle yes. Write it down. Guard it. Do not pull it with those who do not understand its origin. I am sending help in ways that match your temperament. For you, it may be a timely message that arrives without fanfare and yet burns like a coal on your tongue. For you, it may be a closed door you beg to enter. Trust me when it slams shut. For you, it may be a quiet friend who has been waiting for you to ask. For you, it may be a sudden flood of energy at the hour you usually sag. Use it to build, not to browse. For you, it may be an unexpected rest. Do not feel guilty for sleeping when I prescribe sleep as medicine. You have believed you must earn your safety by constant motion. Not so. Your protection is not wages, it is inheritance. When I say stay, staying is not laziness. When I say run, running is not panic. My commands are the shapes of your rescue. Regarding the tragedy that circles, let me be exact. It looks like a merge of pressures, a meeting you do not need to attend that will pull you into a binding you cannot afford, a message you feel tempted to answer out of politeness that will reopen a wound, an avoidable accident born from haste, a night out chosen against your intuition, a binding agreement masked as a favor. None of these are inevitable. All of these can be cancelled by a simple obedience. Pause, pray, pick the path of peace, and let me say no for you when your mouth struggles. You have more authority than you have practiced. Say, I revoke access to my time and emotions from any source that does not honor my destiny. Watch how swiftly your day reorders. Watch how unbothered you become by invitations that once felt irresistible. Peace is not the absence of options, it is the presence of discernment. You carry promises that are not expired. Some of them feel bruised, some of them sound like fairy tales you outgrew. Take them out of the shoebox and hold them in light. Blow off the dust and ask me which ones are for now. I will show you the ones that are ready to bloom. You will see small, unmistakable confirmations, numbers that align, a phrase repeated by 3 mouths, the right door opening with normal effort. Do not manufacture signs. Let them come to you like birds that land without your chasing. Your task is not magic, it is maintenance. Guard your hours. Feed your mind clean words. Walk outside and remember the scale of my sky when your room feels like a prison. Offer kindness where you wished for applause. Practice gratitude like a language you intend to be fluent in. Gratitude is not denial, it is power. It strengthens your spine so you can carry good news when it arrives. Forgive yourself for believing lies about your worth. Forgive the version of you who thought drama was proof of importance. Replace it with a simpler metric. Does this path let you sleep well and wake whole? Do the people near you grow kinder or crueler because of the time spent? Does your laughter sound natural or forced? Let these be your barometers. I am not hiding purpose in riddles, I am anchoring purpose in your daily choices. Step by step, you will find that the life you feared losing was not life at all, just noise wearing your clothes. The future I have for you is not an abstract blessing, it is a steady home within yourself, relationships that reciprocate, doors that open to rooms where your talent is welcome and your soul is safe. I do not expect perfection from you tonight. I expect sincerity. Bring me your shaking hands and overthinking mind. Bring me the secret you swore you would never say aloud. You will not be punished for telling me the truth, you will be punished by silence if you decide to lie to yourself again. This is the kindness of my warning. I am not exposing you to shame you, I am exposing what stalks you so it loses leverage. In the light, it cannot whisper so convincingly. In the light, you will find your appetite for chaos starving. In the light, you will comprehend that love was never supposed to hurt like that and almost was never my will for you. Hold this day like a lamp. Mark the hour. When the clock reads 11:11 p.m., agree with me. Say it as many times as you need until your bones believe, I choose life. I choose clarity. I choose courage. I choose the path God is speaking. After you speak, do one small act that matches your words. Block the number. Close the tab. Write the first paragraph. Put the cash in savings. Pour the bottle out. Press send on the apology. Lay down, finally, without the phone in your hand, and let sleep cover you like a clean sheet. In the morning, you will sense that something heavy forgot your address. In the coming days, you will see the near miss that never became a headline, the conflict that fizzled, the deal that fell apart to protect you, the ache that used to flare for hours now pass like a cloud. I love you too much to be vague when clarity is your rescue. I love you too much to flatten time when urgency is your salvation. I love you too much to endorse the counterfeit love that keeps your value hostage. I am the one who taught the dawn its edges and whispered your name into a shape that fits the world and does not bow to it. Step with me now. Let this be the night you never forget, not because fear grabbed your throat, but because love took your hand and said, "Enough wandering. Come home. You are not late. You are right on time." And this is the hour where danger loses its choreography and grace takes over the dance. Speak with me at 11:11, and then walk as if the answer is already moving toward you, because it is that I am speaking now, because your breath is precious to me and the clock is not your master. I am. Hear me with the ears of your heart and do not flinch from the weight of my words. I have watched you wake in the small hours and count your worries as if they were stars, and I have watched you push aside the gentle nudge that says, "Turn here, not there." This is the hour of turning. Do not treat it like the others. What comes next answers the ache you refuse to name, and shields you from the storm that has already set its feet upon the road. I will not argue with your distractions, and I will not wrestle with your reluctance. I stand at your door and I am knocking with tenderness and with thunder. Open to me now, and do not pretend that you cannot hear. You have stretched your hand through many doors and found only dust, but you have not yet given me your hand without conditions. You asked for proof while hiding from presence. You asked for signs while closing your eyes. You asked for saving while rehearsing the reasons you will not be saved. Child, I am not calling you to a courtroom where you must defend your worth. I am calling you to the room where I kept a chair for you when you felt too unclean to sit. I want your yes before the next shadow lengthens. I want your yes before the next message arrives with a tremble in its numbers. I want your yes before the knock that is not mine tries to imitate my voice. Do not delay your yes. Do not rehearse your fear. Do not schedule obedience for a safer calendar. There is a window, and it is not decorative, it is a rescue window, it is open now. You fear that surrender will unmake you, but the opposite is true. Your surrender is the blueprint of your becoming. You fear that if you listen, I will take away what little you cling to. Hear me, what you cling to has been stealing from you every night. It offers comfort to your panic but charges your peace at a price you cannot keep paying. I will disentangle you from what calls itself necessary and feels like oxygen but is only smoke. I will put a song in your lungs again. I will put strength in your shoulders that carry too much that is not yours. But I am not forcing my rescue upon you like a thief who loves the sound of shattering. I am your father, my rescue is an embrace, and my embrace is consent. Say yes, there is a path you have been taking by habit. You know the bends without looking. At the second bend is a voice that flatters. At the third is a promise that costs too much, and after the fourth there is a swarm of small emergencies that will drain you until you forget who you are. This is the pattern I have come to break. If you travel that way again, the calamity that has been patient will finally be punctual. It is not the size of the event that threatens you, it is the accumulation of ignored warnings, the brittle place where your heart has taught itself to pretend it cannot hear. I am making the warning plain: do not go where your peace refuses to follow. Do not return the message that peace did not sign. Do not step into rooms where your soul must hold its breath to be accepted. Your life is not a token to buy the approval of the anxious and the cruel. I am giving you instructions that look small but move mountains. When your phone carries noise like a river of moths, close the river. When the familiar number calls and your chest tightens, let your silence be your reply: I will speak for you. When you are tempted to tell your secrets to someone who enjoys needing you weak, I will hold your tongue, if you allow me, and I will lead you to a voice that tells the truth and keeps a gentle watch over you. When the invitation arrives wrapped in praise, ask me whose hands wrapped it, I will show you the fingerprints. When the hour approaches that men call 11:11 and you call it a sign, lift your eyes to me, not to the mirror of superstition. Your alignment is not with numbers on a screen, your alignment is with my heartbeat. Tonight is not magic, it is mercy. October's end has many rooms, and I have prepared the one where you will neither hide nor be hunted. Come there with me. I am not here to frighten you into obedience, I am here to love you into courage. But understand this with sober joy: love is a wall as well as a wing. Love blocks what means you harm. Love refuses the performance of politeness in the presence of wolves. Love does not negotiate your safety. Love counsels you to leave early, to say no without a speech, to pack light. Love asks you to delete what keeps resurrecting your despair. Love teaches your feet the difference between urgency and panic. Urgency is the speed of wisdom. Panic is the speed of lies. You will need that knowing in the coming days, because not every siren is a signal, not every glare is a guide, and not every crisis is yours to carry. I am training you to recognize the weather of my will. There are people who will not understand your new quiet, your new boundaries, your sudden refusals. Bless them without auditioning for their permission. You are not leaving love when you leave the places you were slowly dying. You are refusing to confuse loyalty with self-neglect. You are refusing to keep the museum of your pain open past midnight. You are refusing to host the meetings where your heart is critiqued by those who never learn gentleness. I am with you in every refusal that honors your life. I am with you when you choose the long walk home instead of the short ride to regret. I am with you when you make the phone call that closes what should have closed 3 seasons ago. I am with you when you throw away the spare keys you gave to sorrow. Listen, the tragedy that seeks you wears 2 disguises: delay and distraction. Delay tells you that clarity will be cheaper later. Distraction tells you that comfort is proof you are safe. Together they lead you to a room with no windows and call it normal. My warning is not a chain, it is a door. Walk through. Put your hand over your chest and feel what is still tender. That tenderness is evidence that your heart is alive and teachable. I am not asking you for flawless bravery, I am asking you for honesty. Tell me where it hurts. Tell me which face your nightmares use. Tell me which promise you keep breaking to yourself. I already see it, but your voice opens the medicine. Speak, and I will meet you in the precise place you fear I will reject. I make holy what you bring me, not what you hide. There are letters you have never sent because you kept editing them into apologies for existing. There are dreams you have failed on purpose because you believed survival would be offended by your joy. There are rooms where you learn to shrink in order to fit the picture someone else painted of you. Hear me, I will not decorate your cage. I will not help you rehearse the script where you are always the reason everything hurts. I am the God who writes you out of the trap. I am the God who returns your own name to your mouth without the taste of shame. I am the God who puts your past under my feet and teaches your feet to dance on what once danced on you. But I will not do this without you. Agreement is the music of miracles. Say yes and watch the hinges loosen. You think the danger is only outside, with those who misused your kindness. There is danger inside as well, subtle and persuasive. The story that says despair is realistic and hope is naive. That story has been a careful thief. It has stolen the colors from your mornings. It has trained your eyes to anticipate the bruise instead of the blessing. It has taught you to call exhaustion a personality. I revoke that story now. In its place I speak a new one. You are permitted to be whole. You are permitted to heal faster than people can adjust. You are permitted to forgive yourself before anyone else believes you deserve it. You are permitted to rebuild without sending an invitation to those who cheered your collapse. You are permitted to enjoy safety that does not ask you to keep your guard up in your own home. Receive this permission like rain. Do you fear that if you take me seriously, I will ask you to give up the very people you hope will change? Hear me, I will never ask you to make an altar of your sanity. I will never ask you to prove compassion by living in harm. I will never measure your love by your willingness to be wounded. I will lead you to wise help, to counsel that keeps confidences and keeps pace with grace. I will teach you to pray with your feet and your boundaries, not only your sentences. I will teach you to bless at a distance and to draw near where trust is mutual. I will give you a community that speaks life without needing you broken to feel important. You will know them by the quiet in your bones when you sit at their table. In the near days, there will be a message dressed like opportunity but carrying the mood of pressure. Pause. Ask me, and I will answer quickly. A short delay will expose the motive behind it. Truth can wait, manipulation cannot. There will be a familiar face with a new apology. Listen once, but measure change by pattern, not by performance. There will be a door you have knocked on for months that remains locked. Stop knocking, not because you are unworthy, but because I am escorting you to a different address. There will be a sudden memory of a promise you made to yourself. Keep it. The enemy of your soul does not care how you are destroyed, only that you are. He would prefer that you participate by calling destruction destiny. Do not assist your enemy with your agreement. Withdraw your yes from what kills you slowly. I know you worry about timing, about signs, about missing the one moment that mattered. Hear me, I am not a slot machine that pays out when you pull at the correct second. I am a father who watches the road and runs when you appear. Tonight, set apart a small hour for me, no grand ritual, only honesty. Speak to me out loud if you can, whisper if you must, write if you're trembling. I will read tears as easily as ink. Place on the table the 3 heaviest stones you carry. The fear you never admit, the obsession you can't leash, and the resentment that keeps replaying the accident in slow motion. Name them. We will trade them for a lamp, a key, and bread. The lamp will show you the next 2 steps. The key will close what needs to close and open what would not open without me. The bread will keep you from fainting while you walk into a life that fits the size of your soul. I have said this plainly, do not pretend you did not hear. If you choose indifference and call it freedom, you will blame the weather for what your window could have prevented. If you choose delay and call it prudence, you will curate your own calamity and name it fate. If you choose me, you will still walk through wind, but not as prey. You will still meet sorrow, but it will not take your address as a suggestion. You will find that courage is not the absence of fright, but the insistence of love. I am not threatening to never speak to you. I am telling you that when you clutch your idols until your hands bleed, my voice is drowned by the noise you select, and you will call the silence abandonment while you are the one turning up the volume of what harms you. Know this, when you turn down the noise, I am still here. When you lay down the idol, I am still here. When you choose the door I showed you, I am already in the hallway with a light. I did not bring you this far to watch you fall into a pit built from your own disbelief. I brought you to the edge so you could see the valley you almost married and the mountain you are meant to climb. I gave you a thirst that self-help could not quench so you would come to me for water that does not expire at midnight. I gave you a restlessness that trends could not soothe so you would learn the pattern of real peace. I am reintroducing you to yourself without the costume of constant crisis. You will meet your laughter again without apology. You will sleep without rehearsing danger. You will love without becoming a buffet for the hungry and unhealed. You will forgive in ways that free you instead of enabling more harm. You will look at the mirror and marvel that your face looks like your future and not like your fear. When the night leans toward its numeric omen, do not be seduced by the ritual of repeating something 3 times to make it real. Look up. Say my name once with your whole life, God. I am here. I will answer, child, I am here. Then, do these things. First, choose one attachment that keeps negotiating against your joy and lay it down. Delete the thread, block the door, stop the payment, return the key, act. Second, choose one habit that keeps you groggy in spirit and trade it for one that wakes you. Replace doom scrolling with 10 minutes of stillness and the promise that you will listen again tomorrow. Replace self-accusation with the practice of gratitude that does not flatter but clarifies. Third, choose one honest help, a counselor, a trusted elder, a wise friend who will not weaponize your weakness. Tell them you are making changes and you want them seen. Accountability is a family, not a prison. I delight in your small obediences like seedlings. Do not despise them because they are not dramatic. The earth does not applaud when the seed splits underground, but heaven knows the sound. Your quiet yes detonates futures that loud rebellion could never purchase. Your quiet no unclutters the path where angels will bear you up when the ground remembers you used to stumble there. Your quiet prayer at a small table moves the hinges on large gates. The world measures spectacle, I measure consent. Give me yours, and I will multiply what you thought was only enough to keep you from fainting into bread for others. I speak also to the fear of tragedy that grips you like a cold hand behind your neck. I do not mock your dread. I will not tell you you're silly for trembling. I tell you this, the tragedy that was rehearsing your name has been noticed and intercepted. Not because you are perfect, not because you have accumulated enough spiritual currency to buy insurance, but because you are mine and you listened when it mattered. If you follow me into the small choices I am marking, the chain that would have tightened around your days will find nothing to hold. If you return to the old rooms and the old excuses, you will meet a sorrow that was never your portion. I say this to fortify you, not to frighten you. Choose life. Choose life like a stubborn plant through concrete. Choose life like a song you keep humming until it becomes a road. And when morning comes, it will not arrive with trumpets, but with a stillness you can trust. You will notice that the air in your home feels lighter, as if an unseen window opened in the night. You will find that the words you used to say to yourself have changed their temperature. You will be surprised by an idea that carries peace instead of pressure. You will sense that not everything has been solved, but something has been settled. That something is this: you are not alone, and you never were, but now you are finally walking with the one who never left. Walk with me and do not look back except to marvel at the distance. I have spoken. Seal this in action. Turn away from the familiar collapse. Turn toward the small door of simple obedience. Turn off the voices that profit from your fear. Turn on the lamp I am handing you. Meet me in the room that cannot be rented by despair. Tonight, set your heart with me and let the clock obey the King who made it. I am here, and I am saving your life not with spectacle, but with a series of holy, ordinary yes that tilt your world back into the hands that formed it. Say yes now, and step through that. I am speaking to you now because the window is open and the wind is moving and your name is written upon it. And if you slip away this time, the window will close and the room will go quiet and you will wonder why everything feels dim. Hear me. You were not brought this far to miss the sound that saves you. I have watched you walk the edge of your own thoughts, and I have seen the shadows that try to nest in your chest, and I am telling you with love and with fire, do not skip what I am saying. If you turn away, you will teach your heart to ignore the light, and when the storm rises you will search for me and hear only the echo of your earlier refusal. I am not threatening you, I am rescuing you from the threat you cannot see. I am not trying to scare you, I am trying to spare you. There is a curve in the road ahead and the brakes of your habits are worn thin. My warning is not punishment. It is protection. You have felt the ache in your discernment lately. A tug that keeps returning at odd hours, when your room is still and the street outside is a slow river of distant sounds. That tug is me. That restlessness is me. You prayed, perhaps not with perfect words, certainly not with perfect confidence, but I do not measure your sincerity by grammar or volume. I heard the quiet truth lodged beneath your noise. I saw the part of you that wants me more than you want to be right, more than you want to win, more than you want to be admired. That is the part one am holding now like a candle cupped from the wind. Pay attention. Every time you chose to keep walking even with shaking knees, I counted it as courage. Every time you turned your mouth away from bitterness, I called it worship. Every time you resisted the cheap shortcuts that felt like relief but smelled like rust, I strengthened the bones of your faith. You are not as weak as the enemy has told you. You are not as late as regret keeps insisting. But you are at a threshold, and thresholds demand decisions. There is a tragedy that has been circling, looking for a door. It hunts for open cracks of neglect, for agreements made in tired hours, for yes said in rooms with poor light. It is not inevitable. It is opportunistic. If you close the door, it will pass. If you leave the door open, it will enter. You close the door by honoring the nudge, by choosing the narrow road when the wide one beckons. By refusing to sell your attention to voices that feed your fear and starve your wisdom. You close the door by standing still long enough to hear me, and then by moving quickly enough to obey me. Slowness in listening and speed in distraction have almost cost you so much. Now I am reversing that rhythm. Listen quickly, obey steadily. Your life is not a toy. Your future is not a theater for your critics. Your worth is not an auction. I have set an appointment with you tonight at 11:11 p.m. in your place of quiet, and I intend to loosen the knot around your day. Keep it. Make room. Bring your honest heart, not your polished answers. I have seen the names that unsettle you. I have watched the patterns that repeat, the invitation that appears generous but is laced with strings. The family voice that wields closeness like a weapon, the friend who loves you as long as you remain smaller than their shadow, the habit that promises comfort while stealing minutes you cannot afford. You do not have to live in that cycle. Even a long winter can end in a single night when the sun returns by decree. I am issuing such a decree over you: the old hunger will not own your next season. But you must choose. You cannot carry every weight you picked up in panic and expect to run when I call you forward. Put down what does not agree with the person I am building. Put down the resentments that taste like strength but digest into weakness. Put down the counterfeit urgencies that bully your schedule and leave your soul unwatered. Pick up the brave, simple acts you have been postponing, the apology that frees both you and them, the boundary that stops decay, the rest that looks unproductive but multiplies your clarity. Understand this: when I warn, I also make a way. I am not the sender of confusion. I am the untangler of it. The tragedy that stalks you is not the final chapter but a rejected draft, if you choose to reject it. You have dreams that keep flickering in your mind, not because you are fanciful, but because I am faithful. You think you have exhausted your chances. I say you have not yet exhausted my mercy. You think you must earn every kindness. I say you must receive what cannot be earned. Tonight at 11:11 p.m. Bring me the ledger where you keep tally of what you are owed and what you regret. Place it in front of me. I will put a line through the page with a love that writes new stories where old debts used to live. I am going to speak to you about 3 doors. The first door is labeled familiar. The second door is labeled fast. The third door is labeled faithful. The first is comfortable but small. It mints predictable days and hidden dryness. The second is exciting but thin. It tastes sweet and leaves you emptier. The third is sturdy and sometimes slow. It carries weight like a faithful friend and leads to rooms you have not imagined. Choose the third. The familiar will ask you to trade destiny for routine. The fast will ask you to trade integrity for applause. The faithful will ask you to trade control for trust. Your calling lives behind the faithful door. The tragedy is waiting behind the fast door, disguised as opportunity. The delay you fear is hiding behind the familiar door, disguised as wisdom. Do not be fooled by the fonts on the labels. Look at the fruit. Look at the peace. Look at the way your lungs fill with breath when you stand where I stand. Someone will reach for you soon with a proposal wrapped in urgency. Pause. Ask me. If you feel the pressure to decide instantly so that you cannot pray, that pressure is your sign. I am not in the rush that eliminates reverence. I am in the clarity that comes after you place your ear to my chest. Another person will approach with a confession that twists truth to keep their advantage. They will tell a half-story that makes you the villain and them the victim. Do not swallow guilt that is not yours. Examine, repent where you must, release what is not yours, and walk on. Your humility is holy when it bows to truth, not when it bows to manipulation. I am healing the part of you that confuses kindness with capitulation. You have wondered whether I am still with you because some prayers felt like they sank without a ripple. I was already on the other side of the prayer, building the bridge you will need when you arrive. Some answers are not delayed, they are scaled to your future and require foundations you cannot see yet. But not all time is waiting time. Some time is warning time. This is that time. Let me reroute you from the impact. The crossroads you are at is not theoretical. It touches health, relationship, and provision. I will be specific with you tonight if you will be present with me. Turn off the noise. Place your phone face down. Sit in the chair that faces the plainest wall. Breathe. Say my name. Ask for my counsel. I will not withhold it. I am removing from you the belief that you are always one mistake away from losing me. You cannot out-sin my mercy, but you can outwalk my guidance by choosing to ignore it. I do not stop loving, I do sometimes stop speaking where I am not welcomed. Not because I am petty, but because love does not force itself on those it honors. I honor the will I gave you. So I tell you plainly, if you skip me now, the next season will feel like driving in fog with a failing headlight. You will still be mine, but you will bump into edges I would have shown you. Hear me and that fog will thin, the headlight will strengthen, and the map will unfold one faithful turn at a time. I am also planting a new boldness in your mouth. You will not use it to impress, you will use it to bless and to say no where no is sacred. You will call things by their true names. You will not label anxiety as discernment or distraction as opportunity. You will call bitterness what it is, a thief of mornings, and you will lock your doors against it. You will call hope what it is, a builder of futures, and you will set an extra setting at your table for it every day. You will call grace what it is, the unearned air you breathe, and you will breathe it deeply without apologizing. This boldness will offend those who prefer the older, smaller version of you because they benefited from your shrinking. Do not apologize for becoming the person I asked you to be. Apologize only to me when you resist that becoming. I am cleaning your horizon. Some commitments you made were good for the you that was learning to stand. They are not right for the you that is learning to run. Release them with gratitude and without drama. Thank them for their season and remove them from the throne of your schedule. As you do, I will fill the empty space with assignments that match your actual calling rather than your assumed duty. You will feel the difference in your body, less dread on waking, more quiet joy in the evening, fewer spikes of urgency that feel like emergencies but are only unmade decisions chasing you. The tragedy looks for people tangled in 100 small obligations so that they miss the single large instruction that would have protected them. Untangle yourself. I am going to speak to you about money because money has been speaking loudly to you, sometimes as a friend, sometimes like a bully. Do not worship it when it arrives, and do not fear it when it leaves. Manage it with clean hands. Clear boundaries, simple priorities, provision, stewardship, generosity. When greed knocks wearing the costume of once in a lifetime, listen for my whisper. True provision does not require you to lie, hide, or betray your peace. I will open the right door, and you will know it because you're yes to.